Hello everyone, I'm Geek Freak and welcome to the video, and welcome to my series, Problems with the Dragon Ball franchise and how we can fix them. On my last video we was talking about Frieza, about his armor and his wish on the Dragon Balls in the Broly movie, and I've also made a few other videos that I talk about the problems the Dragon Ball franchise has. So, as soon as you've watched this video, please go and check out those videos as well. And with that said, let's resume with the video. Now to start off, I want you guys to remember back in the Buu saga, when Shin was talking about the other Supreme Kais and the Grand Supreme Kai, and how they was defeated by Buu. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Let's go through the hierarchy of the Kais. First, you have the lower Kais, or the compass Kais. There's East, West, South, and Kinkai, which is North Kai. These are the Kais that watches over their sections of Universe 7. And next in the hierarchy is the Grand Kai. And even though the Grand Kai has been mentioned in the manga, he's never really been shown in the manga. And as for his job, to tell you the truth, I'm not really 100% sure what his tasks are as the Grand Kai. But I can assume that his job is to make sure that the universe is running smoothly. Now, one of his jobs is to oversee the Compass Kais and making sure they're doing their jobs. And the other thing we saw him do is when he asked Pikkon to go to Hell and stop Frieza and Cell. So this is my best guess. The Grand Kai is responsible for making sure everything is running smoothly throughout the universe, the living and the dead. Now, next in the hierarchy is the Supreme Kais. Now, the Supreme Kai's job is to create life and protect it from threats from villains like Moro or Majin Buu. But their main objective is to create life throughout the universe. I'm not sure what other tasks they do, but their main objective is to create life and protect it. And also, there's another thing I like to bring up. Shin, the Supreme Kai, used to be the Supreme Kai of Eastern Quadrant of Universe 7. But when the other Supreme Kais was killed by Majin Buu, Shin took it upon himself to be the sole creator of the universe. But before the death of the Kais, each Supreme Kai would look after only their section of the universe. You know, Shin would look after the east side, and the West Kai would look after the west, and the south would look after the south, and the north would look after the north, and the Supreme Kais would create life in their own sections of the universes. And it was the job of the regular Kais, like King Kai, to look after them while the Supreme Kais was doing other things. So technically, North Supreme Kai is technically King Kai's boss. And the same could be said with the other Supreme Kais and Kais. The Supreme Kais create life, and while they're doing other things, the normal Kais look after their sections of the universe, and if anything goes wrong in their own sections of the universe, the normal Kais, like King Kai for example, would alert the North Supreme Kai. Well, that's how I saw it anyways. So yes, moving on. And next on the hierarchy is the Grand Supreme Kai. And this Kai's job is, well, basically to look over the entire universe. He looks over the Supreme Kais. He is basically the ruler of Universe 7. And that's basically it. But, as we all know, the Grand Supreme Kai got absorbed by Majin Buu, and that in turn created Good Buu. But before being absorbed by Buu, a few million years ago, also fought Moro, and the Grand Supreme Kai used up almost all of his godly power in order to defeat Moro. But yeah, he was the ruler of Universe 7. I always assumed that the Grand Supreme Kai was the creator of Universe 7. Like, he created Evan and El, the Supreme Kais. Basically, he got everything started for Universe 7. Like, he's the creator of absolutely everything in Universe 7. And the Supreme Kais below him are also the creators of life in the universe. So basically, you could say that he's the god of Universe 7. And next on the hierarchy, the Supreme Kai of Time. And I'm just going to say it. Guys, I have absolutely no idea who this character is. Now, I know for a fact that she's from the Xenoverse games, which I've started playing 2 days ago. I am in the process of playing those games to find out what this game's all about, and Xenoverse 2, but I do know a little bit about her. And, like her name implies, she is the Supreme Kai of Time. She regulates time and makes sure time runs smoothly throughout all of existence, in all of the universes. And, unlike Zeno, there is only one of her. I'll make a separate video about the Supreme Kai of Time, but for now I just want to talk about the anime and manga god hierarchy. Next on the hierarchy is the Gods of Destruction. The Gods of Destruction destroys planets. If it doesn't meet the God of Destruction's expectations, the Supreme Kais create life and the gods of destruction destroy life. And there is a life link between the gods of destruction and the Supreme Kais. So if one dies, the other dies. And next on the hierarchy is the angels. The angels train the gods of destruction, assists them, cooks their meals, keeps the gods of destruction from fighting each other, trains potential gods of destruction, and if the god of destruction that the angel is looking after dies, they go into a state of hibernation until a god of destruction is replaced. Next on the hierarchy is the Grand Minister, which is the father to all the angels like Vados and Whis. It has also been stated that he is one of the top 5 most powerful beings in the multiverse, and he's also the assistant to Zeno. And finally, we have Zeno. He is basically the god of everything. So far, of what we know, he is the god of everything, and he can erase universes. He's basically the boss of what goes and what stays. Now that I've got that out of the way, let's talk about the problems and issues I have with the gods. The first problem I want to talk about is about Old Kai. Now, Old Kai was sealed away in the Z-Sword by Beerus because he annoyed Beerus to no end. And when the Z-Sword was broken and introduced himself, he said that he was a 15th generation Supreme Kai and is also a descendant of Shin. And that's issue number 1. How the hell can he be related or a descendant of Shin? I always thought that the Supreme Kais came into existence from a fruit. Yeah, apparently Kais and Supreme Kais come into this world by a fruit that comes from a tree. The regular fruits are the fruits of what creates Kais like King Kai, and the golden fruit, which is a rare fruit, becomes the Supreme Kai. However, in the manga, Guwasu, the Supreme Kai from Universe 10, chose Zamasu to be his apprentice to be the next Supreme Kai. And here's the thing, Zamasu was just a regular North Kai from Universe 10. So, how could Shin and Old Kai be related? That does not make sense. I mean, I know for a fact that the gods of destruction can be related, because obviously we know Beerus and Champa, and we know all the angels are related, but I've never seen a Kai or a Supreme Kai have siblings or mothers or fathers or sisters or anything like that. And I've never seen a baby Supreme Kai, so how could Shin be a descendant from Old Kai? Now, to fix this problem, I think the Kais should have a promotion system. Instead of Shin being related to Old Kai, I think Shin and Old Kai should both come from the same quadrant, like they were both Supreme Kais from the East Quadrant. That would make a lot more sense. Instead of being a descendant, they could just be brothers-in-arms that came from the same quadrant. That, in my opinion, would make a lot more sense. I'll talk more on the promotion system later on. I just want to continue talking about Old Kai. Now, the next problem I'd like to talk about is, why didn't Old Kai ask where the Grand Supreme Kai and the other Kais was? Because, I've said this before, the Grand Supreme Kai is supposed to be the god of Universe 7. He's supposed to be powerful, wise, and is supposed to be in charge. And even though Old Kai is an old man, I like to think that the Grand Supreme Kai is an ageless god. I always thought that the Grand Supreme Kai couldn't age, and it was his job to live forever and keep an eye on the universe that he created. So, it would make a lot of sense for Old Kai to ask where the Supreme Kais and the Grand Supreme Kai is. Why didn't Old Kai mention the Grand Supreme Kai or the other Kais before? That would be one of the first few questions Old Kai would ask after coming out of the Z-Sword. And considering how inexperienced Shin is as a Supreme Kai, that would definitely be one of the questions Old Kai would ask. Even Old Kai himself thinks that Shin looks like a Shinshin boy than a Supreme Kai. Man, Old Kai can really throw shade. But in all seriousness, Shin is pretty useless. So yeah, Old Kai asking where the other Supreme Kais and Grand Supreme Kai is should have been one of the first things Old Kai should have asked. And considering how old Kai is, I'm pretty sure that he knows who the Grand Supreme Kai is, and the fact that there should have been other Compass Supreme Kais. So yeah, that's issue 2. Let's move on to number 3. And number 3 is a simple one. Why didn't the Grand Kai or the other Supreme Kais of the time rescue Old Kai when Beerus sealed him in the Z-Sword? I mean, come on, you would have thought that his fellow Kais would have released him from the Z-Sword after when Beerus left. Especially the Grand Supreme Kai. The Grand Supreme Kai is basically much more powerful than Moro. So why didn't the Grand Supreme Kai actually do something to free Old Kai? I mean, maybe the Supreme Kais at the time was too weak to free him from the Z-Sword, but what was stopping the Grand Supreme Kai from freeing him from the Z-Sword? Like, maybe they needed a mortal that was strong as the Kais? Because Beerus put a curse on the sword, so Supreme Kais couldn't break the sword in order to get the Old Kai out. And the only one who could break the curse that Beerus put on it is a mortal that's as strong as the Supreme Kais. And ever since that day, the Supreme Kais have been trying to find mortals that's as strong as them, so that mortal could break the curse that Beerus made. And for many years, from generation to generation, the Supreme Kais have been trying to find mortals who is strong enough to break the Z-Sword. So yeah, that's number 3 I fixed. Let's move on to number 4. I want to talk about the Kai and Supreme Kai promotion system. Now this one's a small one. Now we have 2 versions of where the Supreme Kais come from. One way of becoming a Supreme Kai is that you have to be born a Supreme Kai, and in the manga, Guwasu chose Zamos, who was just a regular Kai, to be Guwasu's apprentice. So when Guwasu dies, Zamasu would have taken Guwasu's place as a Supreme Kai. And you know what, I actually like the promotion version on how Kais can be Supreme Kais. Now, as many of you know, there are regular Compass Kais, and then there's the Grand Kai, and then there's the Supreme Kai, and then there's the Grand Supreme Kai. I think the only way for a Kai to actually become a Grand Kai or a Supreme Kai is if he does a good job of being a regular Kai, and then after so many years, the current Grand Kai will choose one of the Compass Kais to be the Grand Kai's apprentice. And when the Grand Kai chooses a Kai to be his apprentice, a new Kai takes the place of the Compass Kai who was promoted to be the Grand Kai's apprentice. And the current Grand Kai trains the apprentice Grand Kai, and after so long, the Grand Kai promotes his apprentice to Grand Kai, and the current Grand Kai goes to the secret land of the Kais, and he becomes the apprentice to the Supreme Kai of whatever section of the universe the Grand Kai was originally from. So for example, the Grand Kai could have originally came from the west quadrant of the universe, and therefore he would go to the West Supreme Kai to be his apprentice. And then, when the Supreme Kai dies, the apprentice Supreme Kai becomes a Supreme Kai, and the Grand Supreme Kai will be the advisor to the Supreme Kais. There is no next step after this. The Grand Supreme Kai is the ruler of the universe, and he knows everything. So if the Supreme Kais need some help, they would ask the Grand Supreme Kai for advice. And that's how I would do it. The Kais would get a promotion on how well they do their jobs as Kais, Grand Kais, Supreme Kais. This way it would be much more simpler. I genuinely think that a promotion system is much more better, just like with Guwasu and Zamasu. Now, let's talk about the Supreme Kais in other universes. Now, the one thing that really bothered me when it came to other Supreme Kais in other universes is, where is the Grand Kai or the other Compass Supreme Kais from the other universes? When Universe 7 and Universe 9 was going to have that exhibition match. Remember when Goku, Gohan and Boo went to Xenol's realm? And they was going to have a exhibition match with Universe 9 with the Trio de Danger. Well, do you guys remember when we saw the Gods of Destruction and their Supreme Kais? Well, that's kind of the problem. Because you guys would have thought that something this important would make the Grand Supreme Kais from other universes to attend this meeting and see this exhibition match. But instead, we just got regular Supreme Kais. I mean seriously, you would have thought that all the Grand Supreme Kais would have come from their universes in order to see this match. And it's been stated that they are Supreme Kais instead of being Grand Supreme Kais. And that's a problem. Where the hell is the Grand Supreme Kais from other universes? What's going on? What's happening? Because I would have rather seen the Grand Supreme Kais from other universes instead of regular Kais. Well, Grand Supreme Kais. Now we know that Universe 7's Grand Supreme Kai has been absorbed into Boo, and that gives Universe 7 an excuse. But where's the other Grand Supreme Kais? And also, where's the other Compass Supreme Kais? And even though we didn't see the Supreme Kais or the Grand Supreme Kais at the meeting, we didn't see any of the Compass Kais or the Grand Supreme Kais in their universes while trying to find fighters for their team. And do you guys remember where Frieza was talking to Sidra and Ro, and Frieza was trying to make a deal with them? And do you also remember that flashback when Sidra's assassins was having a flashback of him getting a little bit of God of Destruction power from Sidra? What I'm trying to get at is, we see no Grand Supreme Kai or any other Compass Supreme Kais. It was just Ro and Sidra. I don't even think that other universes' Grand Supreme Kais are even mentioned. Not even other Compass Supreme Kais were mentioned in other universes. Now, this is how I would fix this problem. Number 1, all the Supreme Kais that was accompanied with their God of Destruction will be replaced with Grand Supreme Kais, like the one we saw in Dragon Ball Z, like the one we saw in Shin's flashback, with the exception of Universe 7. because the Grand Supreme Kai of Universe 7 was absorbed by Majin Buu. So, Old Kai will be representing Universe 7, simply because he's older and wiser. And also, since Champa is from Universe 6 and Beerus is from Universe 7, and they are brothers, I think there should be a Grand Supreme Kai who was the brother of the Grand Supreme Kai of Universe 7. The Grand Supreme Kais are the highest authority when it comes to Kais, so it would make a lot more sense for them to be with their gods of destruction than regular Supreme Kais. And when it comes to the Compass Supreme Kais, I think the strongest Supreme Kai, excluding the Grand Supreme Kai, should represent their own universes, because here's the thing, the South Supreme Kai of Universe 7 was the strongest Supreme Kai, and if he was alive, he would have represented Universe 7, and it's the strongest Supreme Kai that represents power, and all the other Compass Supreme Kais would be helping choosing which fighters that should be participating in the Tournament of Power. And the Grand Supreme Kais who was at the exhibition match would stay in their universes, and it's the strongest Supreme Kais from each universe who would represent their universes. And the other Supreme Kais, the Compass Kais and the Grand Supreme Kais, would be watching in a monitor or a globe or whatever. This would establish that there are Grand Supreme Kais and other Compass Kais from other universes. So yeah, I fixed that. Let's move on to the next one. The next thing that really bothers me is, why wasn't the absorbed or killed Supreme Kais replaced with other Supreme Kais? I mean, the Grand Supreme Kai I understand because he can't be replaced. But what about the job slots for the other Compass Kais who was killed or absorbed? And Shin is not a very good Supreme Kai. He's still learning. And there are even things not even he understands or knows. Like the earrings that confuse people. He didn't know who Zeno was, and he's not really good with his job of creating life in the universe. Even Beerus said that Shin was slacking off as a Supreme Kai. Hell, there's only 28 planets with life in the universe. Well, I think I do have an idea why they wasn't replaced. It's simply because Shin is the only Supreme Kai in Universe 7, and he doesn't know how to recruit or get more Supreme Kais. So Shin is the only Supreme Kai that doesn't do his job. He didn't know about Zeno, he didn't know about the fusion earrings. Shin was a novice, and since he didn't know how to recruit people, he's been the only Supreme Kai on the land of the Kais, until Old Kai came along. And yes, I know there's Kibito, but Kibito is an assistant. So yeah, Shin is an incompetent Supreme Kai, and he doesn't know how to recruit other Supreme Kais. Because again, he didn't know about Zeno, he didn't know about the earrings. And also, speaking of Shin, let's talk about the 28 planets with life on them in the universe. Now, just like everybody else, I was really ticked off the fact that Shin said there's only 28 planets with life on them. And apparently, that was the only good reason for Shin, Beerus, Whis, and Old Kai to say, okay, let's just stick with the fighters that's on Earth. And you know what? That is probably the dumbest reason why they chose the fighters from Earth. This was just a lazy-ass way to get all the fighters that we know and love to participate in the Tournament of Power, instead of some random character that we'll never see again. I mean, here's the thing. We have Frieza, who has taken over hundreds of planets, and we've seen loads of races that was under Frieza's command. And there are loads of prisoners in the Galactic Patrol prison. And also, why does the universe need a Galactic Patrol if there's only 28 planets to protect? Like most of the fanbase, I found this very unlikely. And again, Shin proves that he is a completely incompetent Supreme Kai. He hasn't created any life in years, and he just lets mortals do whatever the hell they want without any guidance. But I have figured a way how we could fix this. Okay, hear me out on this. Shin, as we know, is a young novice Supreme Kai, and he's still learning. He didn't know about the Patara earrings, and he didn't know about Zeno, and he said that there's only 28 planets with life on them. So, how could we fix this? Again, Shin was originally the Eastern Supreme Kai, and it was his job to take care of that side of the universe. And also, Old Kai was also a former Eastern Supreme Kai, and it was also his job to take care of life and planets on that side of the universe. And also, Shin is the youngest of the Supreme Kais at the time. So, there must have been an Eastern Supreme Kai that died, and Shin took his place. So, there could have been a lot more life in the Eastern Quadrant before Shin came along. So, that's another problem that we have to address. Okay, let's start off with number one, the 28 planets thing. What if the reason why Shin and Old Kai said there's only 28 planets in the universe is because they're only sensing the Eastern Quadrant? They're only sensing of what's in their Eastern Quadrant. Because again, Shin and Old Kai was originally Eastern Supreme Kois, and they could only censor what's going on in their original quadrants. Like maybe Old Supreme Kai and Shin never learned to censor of what's happening in other quadrants of the universe, because other Supreme Kais was taking care of their own quadrants, and other Supreme Kais never bothered sensing what's happening in other quadrants. So maybe all this time Shin and Old Kai was only sensing the Eastern Quadrant instead of the old universe. So that's problem number 1. Let's move on to number 2. Why is there only 28 planets in the Eastern Quadrant? Because here's the thing, the universe is freaking huge. Like galaxies upon galaxies upon galaxies upon galaxies of millions of them. You cannot tell me that there's only 28 planets with life on them in the Eastern Quadrant. And if there was an Eastern Supreme Kai before Shin, he must have had loads of planets with life on them. So why is there only 28 planets with life on them in the East Quadrant? Well, I do have a few reasons. Number 1, Majin Buu. Majin Buu goes through a cycle of sleeping, eating, and killing. So maybe Majin Buu was in the Eastern Quadrant, and every time he woke up, he would destroy planets and only stay in the Eastern Quadrant, and he never went near other quadrants. Majin Buu would only stay in the Eastern Quadrant. So that's number 1, Majin Buu. Number 2 is Moro. Now, I'm sure Moro would have been eating planets throughout the entire universe, but maybe it was the eastern section of the universe where Moro was eating planets. So that's number 2, Moro. Next is Frieza. Frieza has been going through the entire universe, conquering planets, destroying planets. Maybe he went to the eastern section of the universe and conquered a few planets there. Or maybe he didn't go to the Eastern Quadrant. Maybe that's why Shin didn't go and dealt with Frieza or his family, because Shin didn't know about Frieza. And again, he could only sense what's happening in his quadrant of the universe. So maybe that's why Shin didn't go and deal with Frieza and his family. Because, like Shin said in the Buu saga, he could have easily dealt with Frieza, but didn't because he didn't know about Frieza. I mean, come on, you guys would have thought that Shin would be thinking, hold on, why couldn't I sense Frieza and his family in the other quadrants conquering planets? I mean, you could make the argument that he just completely forgot because they were dealing with Majin Buu at the time. So yeah, there's 2 other things that are fixed. Number 2, the Eastern Quadrant only had a few planets in it because the planets in that quadrant of the universe was being destroyed by Majin Buu or Moro, Beerus, or there could have been other factors like meteorites destroying planets, civilizations killing themselves because of Shin's incompetence, suns blowing up, black holes. So yeah, the East Quadrant is in terrible hands and is probably the most dangerous section of the universe because of all these factors. So that's why there are only 28 planets in the eastern section of the universe. So Shin needs to learn how to sense the entire universe instead of the eastern side of the universe. And there's also one little thing I want to bring up. Bibidi went to the north side of the universe, and he went to Earth and he sealed Majin Buu away. And when that happened, the Eastern Supreme Kai killed Bibidi and left Majin Buu there. And here's the problem. Why didn't Shin ever think, I wonder why I can't sense life on this side of the universe, which was the north side of the universe? I guess we can put down that he just forgot because he was dealing with Majin Buu at the time and he never really thought about it. And not to mention he was dealing with the death of the Grand Supreme Kai and his fellow Supreme Kais. So basically, this one section is basically Shin's incompetence. He can't sense the entire universe, only his quadrant. Many planets were destroyed by Majin Buu or Moro. He hasn't created any planets in years. He doesn't give the mortals any guidance. And the reason why he didn't go after Frieza is because he couldn't sense him. Because Frieza never went to the eastern part of the universe. Because if Frieza did go to the eastern side of the universe, Shin would know about Frieza and he would have dealt with him. So basically, this section of the video is basically down to Shin's incompetence as a Supreme Kai. So yeah, I fixed a few things there. Why there's 28 planets, why Shin didn't go after Frieza, the eastern quadrant's very dangerous, Shin's incompetence. These things needed to be fixed. So yeah, on to the next one. Let's talk about Beerus and how he said that he killed all the dinosaurs on planet Earth. And here's the thing. We have seen dinosaurs on planet Earth, pterodactyls, T-Rexes, all sorts of dinosaurs throughout the Dragon Ball franchise. And for Beerus to say, oh, I killed all the dinosaurs on planet Earth, doesn't make a lick of sense. If he killed off all the dinosaurs years and years and years ago, then why are there dinosaurs roaming about on planet Earth? Now some fans could say, oh, he might have mistaken Earth for another planet, and on that planet also had dinosaurs. Or maybe some fans will say, oh, maybe Beerus was lying. And some fans could say, oh, Beerus missed a few dinosaurs and they repopulated as time went by. and also it's the job of the gods of destruction to destroy planets, so the Supreme Kais can start over. However, I think I know how to fix this. I think Beerus did destroy all the dinosaurs. Like maybe Beerus was supposed to destroy Earth because the dinosaurs was uncivilized and planet Earth's development was going slow, but he saw the potential in other creatures that lived on planet Earth. So instead of destroying the old planet, Beerus just destroyed all the dinosaurs, and he spared all other life on planet Earth, seeing that other creatures have the potential of being better than the dinosaurs. He saw that other creatures had the potential of evolving over millions and millions of years and becoming the civilization that the gods of destruction and the Kais need. So Beerus did indeed kill off all of the dinosaurs, but he left other life alone. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say, oh, but Geek Freak, that still doesn't explain why there's dinosaurs in the Dragon Ball franchise, in the present day or the future. Well, that's exactly that. The Dragon Ball franchise takes place in the far future. I mean, think about it. We've seen flying cars, tiny capsules that old small houses, or bikes, tanks of water, loads of stuff. Scientists that can create androids, that's even more powerful than Frieza. At the time, we've seen scientists that can create gravity rooms. We've seen scientists remake alien spaceships like Goku's Saiyan Pod or Piccolo's Namekian ship. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. I'm going to put it down to humans cloning the dinosaurs and brought them back from extinction. And I'll be honest, that's exactly what I've been thinking for all these years. The reason why there are dinosaurs in the Dragon Ball franchise is because humans brought them back from extinction with the method of cloning, something similar to Jurassic Park. So yes, Beerus did destroy all the dinosaurs, but humans brought them back from extinction via cloning. So yeah, that's another one I fixed. Let's move on to the next one. Now the next one really confused me, and it is this. Why is Shenron afraid of Beerus? Because it's been established that King Piccolo killed Shenron in the original Dragon Ball series. I mean, anybody at this point could easily kill Shenron if they wanted to. King Piccolo's power was in the hundreds in Dragon Ball, and now every single fighter is over the power level of 1,000. So really, nearly anybody can kill Shenron, except for those who doesn't rival the power of King Piccolo, or above. So what's going on here? Why is Shenron afraid of Beerus? And also, why is the Supreme Kai of Time afraid of Beerus too? She's the Supreme Kai of Time. Her job is very important, and I'm sure Beerus knows how important she is. Hell, her power might even be above Beerus. I mean, I understand that mortals are afraid of Beerus considering how powerful he is, and the fact that he can erase your soul and destroy you or your planet if you annoy him slightly. I see no reason why the Supreme Kai of Time would be afraid of Beerus, considering how important her job is, but you know what, that's just the video game. So how can we fix the old, why is Shenron afraid of Beerus? Maybe Shenron isn't afraid of dying. Maybe he's afraid of Beerus because Beerus can erase your soul from existence. So you won't go to the afterlife, you'll just go to nothing. You'll cease to exist. So maybe that's why Shenron is afraid of Beerus. Dying isn't an issue for Shenron, but being erased is. So yeah, I fixed that. Let's move on to the next one. The next thing that really bothered me was, why was Dende able to sense that Beerus was a god, but Piccolo didn't? Piccolo merged with Kami, and Kami has been the guardian of Earth, or God, for hundreds of years. Kami knew about King Kai, and when Kami and Piccolo fused, all of Kami's knowledge became part of Piccolo. And then years later, in the Buu Saga, Piccolo asked Shin if he was the Grand Kai, but then was told that he was the Supreme Kai, and after being told this, Piccolo freaked out. Piccolo suspected that there was something beyond the Grand Kai, and Piccolo was suspicious of Shin when Piccolo first met him. And considering Piccolo fused with Kami, you would have thought that Piccolo would notice right away that Beerus was a god, and it was Dende asking Piccolo what's wrong, because Dende has been the guardian of Earth for nearly 10 years at this point. Dende is basically a novice. Now, to fix this problem, I think Piccolo should be the one to recognize Beerus as a god. When Piccolo first met Beerus, and Beerus threatened Piccolo to keep it quiet, I would destroy the planet. So not only would Vegeta know who Beerus is, Piccolo would also know who Beerus is. So Piccolo and Vegeta would try their damnedest to make Beerus comfortable and try not to get him annoyed. And to be honest, I think this would be funny, that Piccolo and Vegeta is working together in order to keep Beerus happy. So yeah, instead of Dende knowing who Beerus is, I think it should be Piccolo who finds out who Beerus is. And both Piccolo and Vegeta work together to make Beerus as comfortable as possible. For me, I think this would be absolutely hilarious. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Beerus and Champa. Okay, it's been established that Beerus and Champa are brothers. Beerus comes from Universe 7 and Champa comes from Universe 6. Universe 7 and Universe 6 are twin universes. And as we all know, you are chosen either by the gods of destruction or the angels to become the next god of destruction. Any mortal can be a god of destruction. Hell, even Toppo is a god of destruction in training, and he comes from Universe 11. And Whis wants Vegeta to become the next god of destruction. But here's my question. If Beerus and Champa are brothers, then why are they gods of destruction in other universes? That's the one thing that has been bothering me. If Beerus and Champa are really brothers, then why are they in different universes? How did they become gods of destruction? We know that Whis and Vados are brother and sister because they are the children of the Grand Priest. And again, Beerus and Champa are also brothers. And here's a thought. If there are other Grand Supreme Kais in other universes, does that mean that the twin universe Grand Supreme Kais are also related? Because remember, I said earlier in this video that maybe the Grand Supreme Kai was the one who created the universe. So it is possible that all the twin universes Grand Supreme Kais might actually be siblings. Like Universe 7's Grand Supreme Kai might have a brother or sister in Universe 6. And you know what? I can understand that happening. The twin universes Grand Supreme Kais could be siblings. I can understand the angels being siblings. But how the hell can the gods of destruction have siblings? Because it has been established that anybody powerful enough and be chosen by the angels can be a god of destruction. If we ever look at all the gods of destruction and compare them to each other, Beerus and Champa are the only ones to be the same species, and all the other gods of destruction are from different species. So it is safe to say that the other gods of destruction aren't related, even with their twin universes. And so Beerus and Champa are from the same species, they are siblings, they are both gods of destruction, but they come from different universes. So, which universe do they come from? Do they come from Universe 6 or Universe 7? Did Beerus decide to go to Universe 7 and be its god? Or did Champa leave Universe 7 and go to Universe 6 to be its god? Or did they both come from a different universe and was chosen to be in other universes to be their god? I mean, what's their story? How did they become gods of destruction? How can two brothers be gods of destruction if they both come from different universes? And I'm not going to give an answer to this question, because I believe that this question might actually get answered in future stories of Dragon Ball Super. It isn't much of a problem like when Gohan was fighting in the time chamber, and when they entered the time chamber, Gohan himself said that he doesn't know what Cell looks like. And later on, Gohan has a dream about Perfect Cell. This whole thing with Champa and Beerus isn't really a problem, but it's more of the lines of what happened to Majin Buu in Trunks' timeline. It's that sort of question. So yeah, I'm not going to answer this question because it's not really a problem. It's just a question that we never got an answer to so far. Well, that's it guys. This video has been way too long, and I think this is a good stopping point. I still have a few things to talk about: the Kais, the Supreme Kais, the Gods of Destruction, the Angels, Zeno, and Goku Black and Zamasu. And trust me, it's the Goku Black arc and time travel that is the really big headache. When it comes to fixing things, the Goku Black arc and time travel will be my biggest challenge. I mean, for all I know, my next video might actually be about this, and the video might actually be an hour long, considering how many plot holes there are, things that don't make sense, issues, things that's never answered. The Goku Black arc and time travel in general is indeed the most confusing, but I do have an idea on how we can fix time travel and the Goku Black arc. So please, look out for that video next, or another video in the future. So, what do you guys think? Are there questions in Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Z that you never got an answer to? Are there issues in the series that you wish were fixed? Or is there something in the series that really bothered you and you wished they brought it up? Please leave your comments in the comment sections below and tell me if you have any issues with Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball GT or whatever. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out. Thank you guys for watching, and if there's a series you want me to check out and review and give my thoughts on it, or if there's a top 10 list you want me to do, or any reactions, or responses, or rants on anything geeky, just leave links and comments in the comment sections below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. And if you guys want to follow me on my social medias, I'm on minds.com, Twitch, Dailymotion, and Hatron, Reddit, BitChute, aka the new YouTube, DeviantArt, Discord, VidMe, Gab, Twitter, Tumblr, Patreon, GoFundMe, PayPal, and my other social medias are down there in the description box below, so if you want to go and check them out, please do. And don't forget to subscribe and share this video. And please go and check out my new skeptic channel, Gypsy Freak. It's also down there in the description box below. Peace out.